make sure this cop. Make sure it's not a gun. We're gonna point at it and everything. It's a phone. It's a phone. It's a phone. See, it's a phone. That's a phone. We'll see what they do. And turn the lights off. I wonder who this side is. He doesn't have that. There he is. That's the good one. Are you busy?
No, but I'm probably going to take a call here with this mess.
Huh?
With this madness that's going on, something's going to happen.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Especially a bunch of drunk drivers smashing into people.
Well, at least they'll be gridlocked in traffic for a while. So.
Oh, yeah, that too. Then you got to fly between things and...
No, they'll get stuck. It's going to be a traffic jam for a few hours.
On both sides, huh? So how do you you guys have to like decipher on intersections and just stop and go type things?
So we can get the lights on a switch. So they'll do it. It's the traffic on the other side of the bridge.
Traffic control.
They'll try to keep those lights green to get everybody off the beach, or at least a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then they'll do the one all the way down by Largo, that bridge that they come off the south end.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. It's just a lot of people are going to leave it.
Past 10 days, this place has been so packed, it's ridiculous.
I'm ready for a little lull before spring break.
But this brings a lot of money into this area, and it's a beautiful place because of it.
It does. I mean, and most people, like, are respectful enough. Even the ones that are drinking when they're not supposed to be on the sidewalk and stuff, like, they just kind of shut their brains off, and that's okay. It's the people that come down and disrespect our city and people who live here that bother.
Yeah.
Like, just because you're spending money doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want.
No, nobody has that right. Nobody has that right.
They think they do.
Well, I like to say the same thing about some cops, though, too. Like, they think they can do whatever they want. Like, it's not built like that. Our system isn't designed like that.
No, and, I mean, at least you're doing it mainly the right way.
I'm ethically doing it for the right reasons.
This idea of resist at any cost. No, verbally resist when you're wrong and then go through the recourse. Don't just resist.
No, like I could have stood over on the other side of that sidewalk where I was able to, but then I passed over. I said I'll look it up tomorrow, even though I knew I was right, because there's no sign going past that point.
See, I still think.
We're gonna have to go to court on that one, I guess. But it doesn't make you a bad guy, though,
Never take it because your unlawful detention, as you call it, was so brief, and there was no punitive consequences for you.
No, but when it comes to the 1983, it's to make sure you guys, just like you find us, and you even told me over there, when a cop pulls somebody over, I have no problem to teach you a lesson for a monetary gain for this.
But if it's too expensive, I don't personally like to when I have discretion.
Exactly. So that's why I said I don't feel like I should take you. I think it's your agency that employs you to train you enough.
But I'm saying, even if you hated my guts, even if I'm wrong there, the Supreme Court says that I did that in good faith. I thought I could do it, right?
See, that there's a good borderline. Yeah, you think you could foot, but I also explained it to you.
But if I stop that car because the third light is out, it's not a violation of
in Florida
rights anywhere.
No, it is in Pennsylvania. If you don't have all your working lights that were maintained properly in Pennsylvania, they have a right to pull you over. In Florida, that third light is not.
But even if I was wrong,
not in Pennsylvania. That's what I'm saying. Each state has its own laws.
If you can prove I knew.
In Pennsylvania, it's all factory lights have to be working. Period.
The Supreme Court has said that if the officer believed it was a violation, even if he's wrong, it's not a violation of civil rights. It's only if I know I can't do it and I do it anyways.
But you said I'll look something up, but you looked it up so briefly, just like he did.
No,
he looked at it, but listen, he looked it up so briefly. It was out of spite.
I guarantee you, there's nothing in the statute that says a park has to post its hours at all entrances, like the towing.
Any sign does. The signage laws and codes does. That, like, you have to look at. You can't just look into that. You have to look in code enforcement on that one.
Well,
And yes, code enforcement is signage.
you're talking about two different. You're talking about two different vehicles. Code enforcement only does what it has to statutorily mandated to do.
Yes.
And I don't believe, and I'm going to look it up because I enjoy learning. I don't believe.
This is a code enforcement thing. This isn't law.
No, that's a city ordinance.
Exactly. The ordinance, same thing.
Drinking alcohol on the sidewalk is not a state statute. It's a city ordinance.
Yes. Now, I'm talking about the ordinance down there is past signage. So you have to look at signage. Just like when I kept on saying the bar had to have their bar stools 3 feet.
No, I get it. But this. So you pick the guy who loves to know whether he's right or wrong.
Yeah.
So I'll find out.
And I'll always admit when I'm wrong.
Saying I don't think that it has to be posted at every entrance.
Well, just look at it. Not every entrance is a park. The entrance is the parking lot.
Well, there's an entrance right there too.
Okay, and you're right. There's a park there. There's a park there. There's a park there. But what I went through was adjacent of all public sidewalks to a what? Public parking lot.
The parking lot, but the parking lot.
Adjacent to all signs is a public sidewalk going all the way around.
You're making a valid point. I just don't know if it's lawfully correct or not.
Yeah, and that's what I'm just trying to tell you right there. Is when you try to come up with things off the fly, like McMullen did, and you did over there, without actually looking into it, because you just wanted to jam somebody up, but you admitted it yourself.
That's not off the fly though, because we've been instructed, not having nothing to do with you. We've been instructed because of problems there to enforce the park hours at this location.
Oh, of course. But that's, once again, it's the park,
But I've already done
not the public parking lot. I can park my car there and walk in. I can drive in there, and I can park in there past 11 o'clock till 7 o'clock in the morning. No. Did you hear what the guy said? I can't restrict you. I can't violate you.
You're talking to. He's a subordinate to me. He doesn't have the same lawful authority.
But that guy, he's been here a lot longer than you probably. I don't know how long you've been here, but that guy's been here a long time, and I've talked to him about many things about it. He gets off on writing parking tickets. He really does.
But they don't even work for the city.
Huh?
They don't even work for the city. They're an outside contractor. They're not,
But that's the parking lot that they enforce.
Right.
There's nothing that they can do to enforce for me to be on that public sidewalk adjacent to a public parking lot.
It depends. If you're talking about the sidewalk where we were having the conversation, that's a public sidewalk.
No, the other one also is. Yes, it is. It's adjacent of a public parking lot, not a park.
But
You're saying park hours. That's why, listen, the park here, there's a sign over here, and there's a sign over there. Now, if that parking lot was closed off, you would have to put it at the entrance. You would have to put it at the entrance. Have to. By signage laws. You have to put it by the entrance. Because how do I see that sign? You couldn't see that this was a gun, supposedly, from right there.
I understand what you're saying.
So you're supposed to see that sign all the way coming into that parking lot from there.
I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm saying you make a very good point. Had I actually written you a citation that costs money, you could go to court, even if you're not an auditor, and say, how was I supposed to know?
Oh, I'm still gonna.
I get that. They're not even going to talk to you in court because there's nothing. You're like, that's why by policy we have to issue you a warning so that if I cited you, I can document that you're aware of the park hours. That's why
I'm very aware of the park hours, but I wasn't in the park.
But you are now. And I understand the point you make. I understand that point you make.
I was on a public sidewalk and I gave up my fourth. You made me give my Fourth Amendment right.
I understand the point.
And that's the same thing that jammed me up and took my bond, so I couldn't fight the shoulder injury on the motorcycle. I couldn't fight that, okay? Because I was sitting in jail because of the same thing.
Yeah, but you have to stop conflating totality of your experiences with each.
No, this is all over. Look, just look. All the First Amendment auditors, the popular ones, like Sean Paul Reyes. He owns.
I've seen some of them, and some of them.
He's a very respectful guy, and I want to follow those guys.
Even me watching those, when I see cops acting the wrong way,
yeah,
it bugs me.
So what would you have done if 5 of them are beating me up right behind the police station and trying to separate a bad shoulder that they already knew how to damage with? That's why I was in double cuffs. And then the sergeant that comes out, that it wasn't even your sergeant, comes out and starts beating on me in front of 5 of y'all. What would you do?
If I saw, well, I'm not going to talk about your situation. So
no, let's just say that happened.
If I saw,
randomly.
If I saw officers using excessive force or extreme excessive force, my first concern, unless it was an obvious medical issue, would be to protect my guys from going to prison.
But there's no violence on my record. I have no violence, seriously.
If you were laying there unconscious, my first concern would be...
I did. And they were still beating on me. When I woke up, one's got his knee in my face, scratching the skin off my face. The same sergeant is still ripping at the bad arm.
If I saw somebody I thought was using excessive force and there wasn't an immediate medical emergency from the victim, I would try to protect my guys and get them off and stop so they don't get any more consequences or go to prison or lose their jobs. And then, if there was a medical need or before that, I would address.
But would you, if the rest of them turned their body cameras on and yours was on, would you report that to the higher up?
Bro.
Because I've seen what happens. There's plenty of people in Florida that lose their jobs because of that.
I'm not losing my job over anybody.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So if 5 people are beating me up, you can't do anything or turn them in. I understand that. I do understand that. But that's why I'm out here. Is because if you guys can't speak up against something and you're going to lose your job, then somebody else has to be out here.
No, I'm not going to lose my job. If I stand there and do nothing, I lose my job. I'm going to stop it.
Half the time it ain't. All right. There's a female cop. If I can get your email, that'd be great. Or I'll give you my phone number right now. You text it to me, and I could pass information back and forth. There's a female Florida cop that her lieutenant said there's a couple black guys out there called to a gas station, and the lieutenant turned his body camera off and she didn't, and he was like, "Get the fuck out of here, niggers! I beat your fucking ass," and all this other shit. She turned him in to her higher ups. She got fired and he got demoted. And you know what her crime was? 8 months before, she didn't turn her body camera on accident. So I understand why you guys can't speak up against it in good cops. And
I can tell you, I wish there was more of a balance of both. But I can tell you, at this agency, I've never seen anybody get away with anything. And you're going to laugh at that? I think we get in trouble for everything.
A traffic incident doesn't require
listen,
this.
I understand that.
When somebody beats me up on camera over there, and they let it go, and the chief of police says it's because you escalate things. I don't escalate things.
Who was the main officer on that thing?
Washington, I think it was.
Washington?
Yeah, black guy.
The most docile guy I know. I got hired with him.
But then the white guy was so pissed off because they kept on saying, why didn't you call second shift when it happened last night? Because when I have an adrenaline rush, I can barely speak. You can see that over there. I wasn't calm at all.
I feel like from what I saw of your video with Sergeant Turpak and some of the other videos, I feel like you have a purpose to do what you're doing, but you're going to lose validity when you keep talking about incidents that aren't related to the one you're doing. Does that make sense?
But it's all, that's what I'm talking about.
It's only related to you, not to your
Look up Abaya Israel. He's a former cop, former sheriff. Now he sells a package to how to protect yourself against police. Now he's just giving it away for free. He's been on there for 3 months, got 50,000 subscribers, and he just audits other people's audits. Okay?
So he doesn't film, he just...
Yeah, he just audits the audits and stuff. Yeah. So look him up, and he tells you. He's a Florida police officer, Florida former sheriff, okay? And he'll straight up tell you that we never touched on your rights and everything else like that. So that leads to me that every time that my Fourth Amendment has been taken up, just like that one time over here when my buddy's boat ran up there, I wasn't the captain of the ship. I wasn't even on it. I was there to help hours after the shit happened. And then they still want my ID. And that got me jammed up because they charged me with obstruction of investigation. And that's not obstruction of investigation. I didn't commit a crime, so I don't have to give no ID.
But you're having conversations with guys like me who don't know the particulars, and no offense to you, I'm not going to listen to anybody as gospel telling their side of the story. I would have to be there to make a fair judgment on it. I can't do that. So every time we're interacting, you want to bring up old stuff that I don't know anything about. So
but that's what I'm saying. You're wrapped up in this shit and me doing this. You think I want to be out here?
No, I'm saying.
You think I want to be out here doing this shit?
But when we have a conversation about the park, that's a good thing because you might be right, I might be right, and maybe we should find out. But then when you bring up the other stuff, I can't give you an intelligent...
But how professional that you acted, and I'm sure you've seen the videos between McMullen and the other guy. They were all, like, McMullen wasn't being cocky, he was just being snobby. As in, I'm doing everything right, blah, 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 but you're acting out of line at that point. He did it out of spite, what he did. And then you got the Jersey kid over there acting like he's relaxed, telling me he's high and all this other shit. Is that how you respond to the public? And then earlier today...
you said he looked high.
Oh, he responded. He's smoking Delta 8. He said he was smoking weed to the
Right,
public.
he's being sarcastic because you.
Oh, so it was sarcastic, but so you're good to be sarcastic to the public. You should be like, no, I'm perfectly okay, I'm fine, this and that.
Do you think there's ever a time for me to be very stern, very direct, and maybe use the F word with people?
No,
You don't think ever?
no.
You don't think drop the fucking gun is?
Oh yeah, okay.
Right. So I mean,
That
one
you're
extreme-
correct about
one
that. I'll give you
extreme
that.
To another, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody's treating you shitty, you don't have a right to turn it up a little bit.
I didn't treat anybody over there shitty in any of my videos.
You were being either.
But he turned it on. I'm put them pretty little bracelets on you. They're black. They got my name on them.
I didn't hear that.
That's all on there, man.
I'll believe you because I can look it up. But I'm saying you accused him of a crime, and you accused him of doing something that would be a huge. He would lose his job over, right? So you were either being sarcastic or you were inappropriately accusing him of something you had no evidence to back up, right?
I had every evidence to back up why I walked up on him. You're on opposing traffic without emergency lights on.
For accusing him of being hot.
Accusing what?
For you accusing him of being hot.
Hot. Oh, for weed?
High.
Delta 8? He already said he smoked Delta 8.
You said it first, and then he said it back.
I said, you look fucked up, dude. He was like, Delta 8. I smoked Delta 8.
How would you respond to somebody that would talk to you like that?
But he looks fucked up. Don't tell me he don't look fucked up in that video. Everybody knows he looks fucked up in that video.
I know him.
He looks fucked up in that video.
I know him. He didn't look out of the ordinary for me.
To everybody else that responded to me, that guy looks fucked up.
But they don't know him personally. So you basically insulted him and accused him of something.
Just like that
And then
officer
you're-
told me I'm a drug addict
Hold on,
over here.
But then
Same sense.
But you're so insulted that he would say something back when you insulted him.
We have to hold you guys to a higher standard.
We do have a higher standard of following the rules. What he talked about over there, being an asshole is not illegal.
Here's the thing.
Being an asshole cop's not wrong either.
When
I don't like.
I
to do
bounced
that.
for years. I've been in King Cobra Karate since I've been 5 years old.
Okay.
My dad, both my uncles have taught for him. John Barton, you can look him up. Biggest Eastern United States tournaments on this eastern coast. Okay, period. I've been in wrestling. I've been in boxing through Ted Shank. Okay, and you know what? I bounced because Erie, Pennsylvania is where I'm from. Hey, hon.
Hey, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Can you pause that for 5 seconds?
Sure.